Imagine your business not just surviving, but thriving. Your wealth locked in, your opportunities exploding, and your family's future built on a legacy that never fades. I'm Leah Garcia, a financial strategist and insurance professional. I help entrepreneurs and high-growth enterprises protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth through my proven system, the Wall of Wealth. I unite your experts into one cohesive strategy, because the most expensive line on your balance sheet isn't debt or taxes, it's conflicting advice. Ready to align every dollar with your mission and turn today's success into tomorrow's divine promise. Wealth today, dynasty tomorrow.
Happy Wealthy Wednesday, champions. Come on in. Come on in. Today's going to be amazing. We've got a great, amazing guest speaker. She brings a ton of value. She is a fan favorite for sure. I love to have her on here because she's always bringing a ton of value. And I always get golden nuggets from her for sure. So I know all of you definitely get some golden nuggets from her. Listen, today's Wednesday, and you know what? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I want to ask you, where are you joining us from? We're live on Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn, and we are live on YouTube. Where are you finding us? Where in the neck of the woods are you? Today, we're going to talk about an incredible topic. Lots of us are using social media. Lots of us are here on LinkedIn, but how many of us are really positioned to win? Are you really positioned to win? Are you really making those conversions? You might be having a lot of conversations. Maybe you're sharing a lot of content, but are you making that conversion from your banner to that connection, to that conversion into that client? Because that's why we're all here in the end of the day. Yes, we're bringing value. Yes, we're making connections. Yes, we're having collaborations. And yes, we're having a lot of fun doing it. But somehow we have to find out the right ways to monetize that. How do we monetize our value? How do we put dollars in our pockets? Because we got to be able to keep the show live, right? We got to be able to keep the water on and the lights on. So my guest speaker, she helps established experts and founders turn their expertise into premium offers that sell at scale. She focuses on positioning, messaging, and offer tech architecture so clients don't just inquire, they commit. How many of you want more committed clients? Let me know if you want more committed clients. And by the way, if you're having trouble finding us, we did have a new link. I put it in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and reshare it here again in the comments so that you can join us. Also, you can join us on my YouTube channel at The Dynasty Builder. And please welcome my incredible guest speaker, Miss Cristina Sargato. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesday.
Hi, thank you, Leah, for having me.
Absolutely. So anybody, maybe there's some people here who don't know who you are. We want to know, why are you so passionate about helping experts to really find those committed clients?
Well, my passion really comes from one thing. For as long as I can remember, I wanted to start my own business. And I did a few times, and each and every time it was somewhat successful. But then I lost the belief along the way, or as I was growing up, I thought that you had to go and do the corporate ladder thing. And so I actually started with my own business. And then I thought, oh, I got skills now that I created for myself and a little portfolio. Let me get a job with that, see if it's even possible. It was possible. And they kept me for over 10 years. So that's the thing, right? It was the trap. So I always had this side business on the side because that's really what I wanted to do. And the thing is, if you don't get that initial success and then some kind of continuous validation from what you're doing, you're just going to do that. You're going to go back. And you don't want to go back because it's just putting a nail in your coffin. Because if you have that thing inside that you have to build something on your own, you got to keep building. There might be times where you have to take a brief job. You have to do something, like you said, to keep the lights on, but you can't stop. You have to keep it, at least the two things side by side, because building your own business takes time. And I say very often, LinkedIn is not your business, right? But you are here, you're listening to this, and chances are that's where your leads are coming from. So today we're going to talk about that, how to best leverage LinkedIn to keep those leads coming in and having conversations that do convert, because you can have no pitch coffee chats all day long, but at one point you will get exhausted doing those.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I want to welcome Chasen. Great to see you here, Chasen. I really admired, he did something really courageous. And I just love the way that he shows up. He's always bringing tons of value, and he's kind of sharing his progress. He did something really courageous, and he went into a networking event. And I think that was like the first time he'd really done this type of an event, but he shared that process. And why I really admired that is because when we get outside of our comfort zone, that's where all the treasures are. That's where all the gold is. And so he's expanding himself, and I adore that. Now, when we think about that, we are giving this value, or we feel like we're giving value, what are some of the biggest pitfalls that people are making? They're showing up, they're having coffee chats, they're just feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, nothing's working. Well, let's say nothing's converting. What are some of the biggest pitfalls that you see people that are making?
Well, it's thinking that just because you're connected to somebody, or they've been coming to your events and liking, you think those are the people that you're supposed to convert. And the chances are that you're going to have to go and revisit your old network and really understand who are the supporters, who are those people you talk to when you feel like things are not working, because you can have LinkedIn friends, that's okay. And who are the door openers, people that open doors for you, and who are the people that you can actually help, and and the people that are ready to receive help, because not everybody is ready to receive help. And the thing is, business owners, solo entrepreneurs, they're not asking the right question. They're not asking. They think perhaps they're too pushy just by asking, or they think that if they, and I've done this myself, if you are too specific on your booking call, what it is and what it is not, now I'm not going to get booking calls. Well, that's okay, because you want to be specifics, because you want people to book, not because they're going to book and they're going to give you their credit card immediately, but you want people to book because they are in the decision-making process, they're serious about it, and of course they reserve the right to hear from you, ask you questions, to see and assess if they want to work with you. But you want to filter to the point where you know that the person that is booking the call is there because I need to get some support here. I need to get some guidance here. So the biggest pitfall is understanding that you're not here just to share, and explain. You're also here to lead. And the thing is, those that will hire you, they're looking for somebody to lead them, not for somebody to, empathize with them, and trying to cheer them up and have coffee chats after coffee chats with. So those that are ready are looking for somebody to lead them, somebody that saves them time, saves them stress, and said, this is the next step. This is what's work. This is what might work. This is what you might want to try.
Yeah, we're talking about position to win. Turn your LinkedIn profile into a client conversion engine. I love that, client conversion engine. And for me, I love the no pitch coffee chats, right? I like to get to know people. It helps me. I learn and grow. I like to know who the network is. So for me, I have sort of a different agenda on that. I really, truly do want to connect with people. But you know what? If it's not working for you, if you're just having all these coffee chats just to have coffee chats and there's no outcome, then you're just exhausting yourself. You're just being drained. People are taking from your energy. And so, and one thing too, is I'm always looking for guest speakers. And a lot of times I find some great guest speakers through a no pitch coffee chat. I had one over yesterday I was traveling and I actually had a coffee chat over the phone, right? We didn't really see each other, but a lot of great value. So it really depends on like what is the outcome you're looking for? What are you really trying to achieve? And I think that sometimes people get a little shy, maybe, or maybe a little bit unclear about what their outcome is. Listen, closed mouths don't get fed. If we don't speak what we want, we're not going to receive it. We won't be able to identify it when it comes to us.
Yes. Well, first of all, let me say this. You can have the coffee chat for the sake of the coffee chat. You just have to be clear about it. The thing is, no one is going to call a coffee chat pitch coffee chat. Come and join me, right? So that's the thing. But the problem with the pitch free coffee chats is that everybody's calling them that, even people that are intent to pitch. So people are really turned off by them. And it's not the fault of the person that has a genuinely pitch free coffee chat, right? So the work that I'm doing with my clients is this. Do you want to have a coffee chat? That's great. Call it coffee chat and set no expectation and know that during this call, it is basically to get to know somebody, or call it get to know, right? And then put it on your calendar according to your availability for those chats. But then have another one, call it assessment, intake, discovery call, right? Or maybe more than one, so that when somebody messages and you already know what kind of conversation this is, you can decide which link to send. Or when people see it, if they have a couple of options, they say, okay, I just want this. But then when they get to discovery call or intake and they read this chat there is some filtering there, right? They say, I'm not booking this. I don't want to buy anything, right? But that's okay, because chances are there would have been a conversation about you hoping to convert the client, and the other person hoping to get some information to implement right now, complementary. So that's the thing. And that's what creates bad energy on both sides. So you have to be clear about certain things there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of static there. I'm not sure that's on my end or your end. Hopefully it's coming in clear. Yeah, that's a really good different way to think about it. So for me, it's taking people through a process. I am really kind of not only looking to make connections, but also I'm kind of deciding like if there's somebody I would potentially want to work with also. Not everybody is going to be the right client for me. And I can kind of see that by getting to know them, listening to their languaging. Are they really kind of stuck with where they are financially? And there's a lot of things that I can learn from them just by having a little coffee chat. It's pretty incredible. People say a lot of things without saying a lot of things. But yeah, I totally see what you're saying. So people now are getting turned off by no pitch coffee chats.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they go, I mean, they'll go, but then if they see that that's what it is, that's the experience that they're left with. If they in reality, can you imagine say no pitch and then say, these are all my services, this is what they cost, right? Immediately from the get-go. So it's just a matter of trying to clarify what this call is intended to. Just the other day, I had somebody saying, "Oh, I want to get on a call with you. I want to pick your brain, right?" I said, "Well, great, pick my brain." But I did specifically ask, "What's the intent?" Because I have to be protective of my time. So if you just want to do a get to know thing, let me know. Otherwise, this call, this booking is for this. I never heard from them again, right? So that's okay, because that was their intent. And it's not like my content is not open to them. They're welcome to read all the newsletters and to learn from that and all that. But I cannot, go and sit with somebody for an hour, because they're never 20 minutes. They always go over, right? And just for them to learn, you have to protect your time as a sole entrepreneur. I'm not saying, to be mean to people or anything like that. But if you mean business, you have to protect your time. So that's the thing. If you want to do get to know chats, great. pick a day, Tuesday, assign 2 hours of your time every Tuesday. Anybody that wants to talk to me, great. We're just talking, right? And even those can convert. But then have the other one, the other link that you're gonna send to those that are already qualified. And the get to know chat can be a pre-qualifier too. You get to explain what do you do, etc., and people know. But I think it's very important to define it. So that I'm just going to take a quick minute to ask people that are listening live. This morning we had some technical difficulties, so please, if you're managed to find us, can you please share this link with your network so that others can see it? So if you could do that, we really would
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes, and I'm going to do that right now. Hopefully people can see us. I see we've got some comments. Chasen, great to see you. And Miss Linda Meter. Oh my gosh, you found us on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. We love that. Thank you so much. So please reshare, invite people. This is going to be a really valuable conversation that we're having here because we're here giving value, but we want to make sure that we're positioning ourselves to win. We're positioning ourselves to have those conversations that are going to convert into paying clients. We want to actually get business from what we're doing in some form or fashion. So what would we start to think about then? Maybe we have some very specific, we've got oops, oh my goodness, where'd you go? There you are. Okay.
Yeah, I was positioning myself to win.
There you go. You're positioned to win, perfectly to win. So let's think about it like this. Maybe we have some different types of chat set up. Okay, we've got the no pitch. We've got the one that is going to be something that what did you call it? Like more of a discovery call or something like that. Let's get to know each other more, see if we can work together. How do we make those conversions? Or what should we look at? Because I think you and I were kind of talking about even from the very first interlude with somebody who's seeing us from our banner. I've heard a lot of different things about the banner, and you post a lot of great comment talking about the banner. So even from the very first blush, when somebody comes across our name and they see our headline banner, what are some of the pitfalls that you think a lot of people are making?
Well, I think you shouldn't get too hung up on the banner in general, right? Because if you're starting your business today and you want to have the perfect banner, sure you can, but can you perform to your banner? Because once you put those things in there, you're supposed to be doing that, right? So are you ready to have a certain type of banner? There is a reason why when we start on LinkedIn, our first banners is a beautiful landscape, a photo that we took, a place that means something to us.
Right.
And the reason is that we're here because we have a desire to connect, and that instinct shot of the ocean or the mountains where you went on your last vacation, it's something that you want people to know about you, that's what you like. So think of the banner like that. The first thing is that you're doing that because you're expressing yourself, right? And I played with my banners for a long time, and it wasn't necessarily strategically for me. I did add book a call, for people to see right away. But what I really wanted people to see in my banner is what I like, that I'm creative, right? So right now my banner is kind of a steampunk looking banner, nothing major like as seen on Forbes or this or that, or badges, or I have this, my publications. I could put all that there, and there is it's useful to put them in there, but it's not going to be necessarily what converts. So if you want to try to highlight that you have a way to get on a call, there's a way to get on a call with you, and you want to book a call, you can, but don't get too involved when you're first starting, at least with your banner. Just make it as clear as possible. Make it something that you like and clean. And if you don't know, you're just starting out, keep it clean. Keep it clean. Say what you do in there, and that's it. So what converts is what it's found. Nobody knows what's going on LinkedIn right now with the algorithm and all that. Sure, there is some guides, SEO guides, and LinkedIn has currently published, and that's really what LinkedIn would like to achieve, is that you have very clear content, that it is very categorized, and that it is so clear their own AI, their own LLMs can just take it and feed it to the people that said, I'm interested in this. So that's their goal. But the thing is, it's easier said than done. These kind of things take time to index, to be available, to have enough data for even for the LLMs to make a decision. It's like when you know about this. It's like when you're building your credit score, right? And you're a student and you have this high credit because it's clean and you're getting your first credit cards, and all of a sudden you could buy a whole mansion on your credit, and then it goes down and down and down. So, so it's just like that. It takes time, right? And so sure, if you're starting now with the perfect banner and that, and you're just keeping it simple, you might get indexed. But if you're not producing over time the content that goes with what it says on the label, then it goes down and down and down. Your impressions go down. So how do we make these profiles convert when we're not quite sure what's going on LinkedIn? Because the reality is, it's not you. It's what people say, what people tell LinkedIn, I want to see more of. That's what it is. So if people say, I want to know more about how to be visible online, how to build my business, how to do my leads and my pipelines, and that's what I keep talking about over and over and over, sure, they'll show my content to those people that said specifically that. But if the consumer on the other end is keeping their feed not optimized itself all over the place, and they like little puppies, and then they look for leads, and then they like pictures of cats and comment on food and other things, it's going to be very difficult for LinkedIn to decide what to show this person. So we have to go beyond that. We have to think of our profiles as a landing page, just like you would do with a website, right? You want to give somebody some kind of user experience. And that's why I always said, sure, a website, do you really need it when you're starting out? Not really. I mean, it's good for indexing,
Right.
but if somebody lands on your LinkedIn and he says, this is what she does, and then an about description that it is about that, right? Because now they're in there, now they're looking, now they're reading, and then where do I click to contact them? So that's important. That's probably more important than the banner. Have that calendar link right there in the feature section, right? And then the next thing they're wondering, even before they contact you, is like, what does it cost? And so that's important too on the feature questions, to put your pricing somewhere so that they can click and read and say, no, not for me. I'll think about it. Well, let me see if it's worth it. Let me go to an event, right? So those things need to be there. And then the thing that we really don't think about, because we all pretty much LinkedIn dinosaurs, we had LinkedIn forever, is to look at our job history, to look at the skills that we said we had, right? How long ago did we update those? Are they still relevant to what it says on the profile or not? And do we have 30 jobs listed in there? Thing is, one thing that we do know is that AI and large language models don't go and read the whole thing. They read the first lines. So you want to make sure that the first 5 things of everything are relevant, so that when finally this is really working the way LinkedIn wants it to work, then you're already positioned, right? So is it all for nothing right now and it's not a priority because my profile is not getting me inbound clients? Absolutely not. Your profile is getting you inbound clients, but not from where you think. SEO is now AO,
Oh,
answer engine, right? So people are asking questions to their chatbots, and they're not really Googling you anymore. They're
yeah.
saying, what is Leah known for? What is Christina known for? And if you did enough work, right, to put content out there, that positions you. That would be the whole answer for you. I'm a position. What is AI saying about me? And of course, with a grain of salt, ChatGPT will tell you one thing, or Claude will tell you another thing, Gemini will tell you something else. It's all different. But if somehow you get picked up for what you're trying to do by all four at least, then it means you left the footprint. There is some trace of you there. And sometimes the biggest test is when a lot of people have your name. So if there are other people that do something similar that have your first and last name, that's when you see who's positioned, me or them, right? And I am now neck and neck competing with somebody that has exactly my name, but I'm a little bit above, but because they happen to be somebody in marketing as well. But that's the thing. I appear geographically and all that. I'm there, I'm indexed, right? But it takes time. And that's part of the work that I do with my clients too. The first thing I tell them is you need to create long format content. Everybody thinks the reels, the videos, the short videos, and not really. They don't have, unless you put alt text under behind those photos and videos, and then you're writing also.
Right.
Just putting the video there, it may look like scroll stopping, but it's not creating a trace. Instead, if you do long format and you do your long format strategically, making sure that the topics you're discussing, the first paragraph, kind of has those words in there, then when somebody looks for you over time, it takes about 3 months. You'll see all of a sudden you're popping up in those search. 3 months of doing it consistently. So I tested it with some clients I'm working with right now, and sure enough, they started strong with a newsletter and they're indexed, right? So that builds authority. That builds credibility. Lives are great too, right? That's another thing. And so these are all things in your LinkedIn profile. And live is great too because you go live and you're inviting people and you see who's RSVPing. I was talking about this a couple of days ago with Annie. And you know that somebody raised their hands, there is an interest, or they're interested in this topic. They might have this problem, right? And then what happens after the live? If you just leave it, it was just a chat, just like a no pitch coffee chat. People listen, they get their value, they say, woohoo, that was great. And then they keep talking about cheesecakes and other things in the comments you know what I'm talking about, right? So then it goes like a chat that has nothing to do with the topic. So that's the thing. Instead, what you want to do after the live is comment. Try to keep the comments on topic, especially if somebody did say a question, right? Respond. And then try to work on a recap of what this event was about for people that missed it. So, for example, unfortunately, today, people are missing this event.
Yeah.
So I will send it to me in a recap with a link for people to watch the replay so that they see that we went live anyway. There was some kind of problems. And not everybody that RSVP'd will be here, right? Maybe out of 40, maybe 15 to 18 people were really going to join us, right? So, shame because unfortunately didn't get to do it. But now the job is to take the link of the live that really happened and trying to distribute it. And also this topic, it can be utilized for the next 2 weeks. We can talk about several aspects of what we discussed and put the link or not, but really take whatever we're talking about here and creating content out of that. That's when the live is really valuable. And then it leads to a conversation. You're now interacting with these people. They're getting, maybe you never met them before, but now they're getting a message from you. They're responding. Oh, I would like to meet you someday. Oh, great. Get to know chat here. Were you thinking for something? First, you filter. Were you thinking of something specific? No, I just wanted to meet you. Fine, you can make that time, but you ask the question first. If you ask, were you thinking of something specific? After that, I really want to know you, right? And then they don't respond after that.
Hmm.
There is nothing specific there. They were never serious. Unfortunately, if you're trying to, make your business profitable, you have to filter those. You didn't tell them, I'm never going to talk to you unless you do this. You just say, I want to know what kind of call this is. So that's the thing. And it is important because you show up, you show up in different calls differently. Get to know chat, you're just relaxed. You know what it is, and you ask questions about the person as well. And then you find out that if there is some, common ground or door opening possibilities for both of us, right? If somebody wants something really specific, you just want to make sure that you're prepared for that call to validate a decision-making point, to give them something strong that they can make an assessment on you. That's why it's so important to know.
Yeah, a lot of good nuggets in there. And one thing, my kind of takeaway here, just for myself, is that instead of having my calendar open for coffee chats, only having specific times and dates that I'm going to have those available, because it can be a lot of gear switching, from client calls into somebody that is a conversational, and that can take a lot of energy. So that's a really, really good point. And really it's kind of like a combination. It's not just doing one thing. Just posting a newsletter, even if you post it every day, isn't going to get you a conversion. Having a wonderful, sexy banner alone isn't going to give you a conversion. It's everything being congruent in alignment, that you're spinning all the balls. We call it spinning plates, right? You're spinning all the plates at once. You've got a banner that gives people an idea of you and your personality. And I had to chuckle because my first banner was a beautiful oceanscape, right? It was a picture I took. I thought it was beautiful and I put it up there. I was so proud of it. I'm like, there you go. Right. So it's really understanding that we have to do all the things. We've got to bring value. You're the one that convinced me to do a LinkedIn newsletter. I really resisted that. You were after me and persisted on me for quite a while. And now it's something that I can see how it starts to bring the puzzle pieces together. And I'm making more conversions now just by adding the newsletter. But, it's a valuable newsletter. I always want it to be something that I know people can read and they're going to be able to grab a golden nugget from it. Go ahead. You're laughing. Go ahead.
It's a testimonial right there.
It's a testimonial right there. See, it's a beautiful testimonial. You coached me, and I did. I resisted because I was comparing myself to you. You're an incredible writer. You love to write. You're talented. You make this beautiful poetry and all these incredible visuals that I admire it so much. I think it's wonderful. That I'm creative, not in that way, right? And so I was like, I can't really do that. But then when I leaned into, listen, I'm going to bring value, what has to do with being a dynasty builder. What are the things that people need to know about building a dynasty? And so it's more strategic. It is really chess rather than checkers just throwing it up against the wall. And what I'm finding now, I think I'm on edition. I'm doing it every week. I think I'm on like number 15 or 16. What I'm finding now is that it's starting to be fun. Okay. The first few, I got to tell you, it was grinding my gears. Christina, why are you making me do? I was not happy with you. Okay. But I said, okay, we got to do it for at least 90 days, right? Do it something for 3 months. And we're champions, so champions always go to 100. But after the first few, because, it was a little bit of a learning curve, and I'm still in the process, but now it is starting to be a little bit more fun and I'm playing with it. And I think that's when things start to come together a little bit more.
This is what I do, and it is, again, digital newsletter. What does it have to do with the profile? Well, it goes in your profile, it goes in your featured. What does it have to do with your profile? People connect with you and they get a message that you have a newsletter, subscribe or not. You start a newsletter, and people that are connected with you or follow you, at first, when your first newsletter, everybody gets a message that you have a newsletter, subscribe or not. The afterwards, it goes by relevancy. So over time, the number of people that subscribe is going to slow down, but that's normal.
Right.
But the thing is, what I really believe on, if you start with the newsletter, then you can take what you're writing and let it either guide you, look at it, get ideas from it, decide to turn some of the elements of that article in a post, and it keeps you on topic.
Right.
So that's the thing, it keeps you on topic. This week, I had one post maybe, but my newsletter, I happen to have two because I have a weekly one and a daily one. They were in similar topics, and then I happen to talk about some of the things that I was doing my newsletters about in the last 7 days, today live, and on Monday as well. So it's important that you keep a topic consistent for a couple of weeks for conversion. If one day you're talking about, attracting clients, a pipeline, and the next day you're talking about setting up an eBay e-commerce business, which are both things that I can talk about and I do, right? It's your visibility drops. It's different. You're getting different kind of people that want different things. So to keep somebody there reading, you have to keep with the topic and discuss several subjects of it. So if I think of somebody like you, think of what am I promoting right now? Can I talk about it for 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
And different aspects of it, right? And then you find different ways that you're going, and it will stay there. It will show up on the searches. Now, when you see your post or your event all of a sudden being reposted on LinkedIn, or LinkedIn showing it again after about 2 to 3 weeks, why do you think that happened?
There's generating interest in that.
Yeah, so there is generated interested. Either somebody liked it immediately. It doesn't have to be 100 people, right? But immediately somebody said yes to it, and then people are reading it. So LinkedIn is not just counting the likes and the comments and all that. They say they do, but they're not just doing that. They're just also counting, is somebody just looking at your profile over and over and over, thinking, trying to make a decision, reading the newsletter, then going to the previous article, reading the other one. That's how people make decisions. And people that are deciding, until they're ready, they're just going to read.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to say, woohoo, yeah, immediately. People that are thinking seriously about, doing business with you, they're not telling everybody.
That is a gold bar for sure. Put a star, underline it, highlight it. Absolutely. I have learned this. I get people reaching out to me that I think I have never seen them. I've never seen a comment. I've never seen a repost. They've never sent me a DM. They've never subscribed to my newsletter. But then suddenly they reach out to me and they telling me, oh, I heard you talk about this topic and I've heard you say this before. How can I do that? And that it's like all the gold is in the shadows. They're the people that you don't even know who are secretly watching you. And think about that. How do we shop? When we're going to buy a car, if you knew you wanted a Mercedes SL 500 black on black, right? Black exterior, black interior. You knew what you wanted. You knew all the bells and whistles. You went online. You picked all the different upgrades that you wanted. And you walked into the showroom and the first person that went and greeted you, what do you say? Can I help you? What do we say? Oh, I'm just looking. Right. We know we're there to we're there to buy. We've got the checkbook in hand. We've got the financing or write in to check, whatever it is. But we say we're just looking. People, we want to be able to discover and research and learn on our own. And then we'll go ahead and we feel like we're in control. Go ahead. You feel like I feel like
Oh, yes, of course. There is another side of it, right? So we're not a brick and mortar. And the way people just look is different.
Yeah.
We can see they were in the store because we see that they looked at the profile. We can see they subscribe to the newsletter because we see somebody subscribed to the newsletter. We can see that they answered the questions in our polls and we see what they answered, right? So we have to be pretty good at, we have to be very good sales reps, right? So it doesn't mean that, oh, buy this, it doesn't mean attacking them with the price, but good customer services. You were here. Anything particularly were you looking for? Any resources? What interested you? Where are you in your journey? I mean, and I know it seems like all pretty standard, right? But if Linda, that is in the audience, comes to Leah and keeps looking at her profile and keeps, reading the newsletter, and you know that they're there and they're also responding to all of your polls, right? That are about something very specific. Well, Leah will say, hey, have you considered this? I know that you said this in the poll. Now there is context there. It doesn't mean that Leah is sounding Linda to spend money, right? But Leah is running a business, and that's why she posted that poll, because she wanted to see who looked at the window, right? And if somebody looks at the window, you should say hello. What brought you here? And start the conversation. Now, if the person says, I was just looking, I like what you say. I'm thinking about some things, but it's not the time. That's okay. Now, she said, I'm thinking about some things. Great. So you keep them engaged. You invite them to an event. You keep providing the value. But if somebody is saying, I'm really thinking about life insurance, Leah. What do you say? Let's have, okay, keep reading. No, you say, well, let's have a conversation, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Oh, you're thinking about it? I think about it too. Keep reading, keep thinking about it.
Right.
So you do have something, a solution for that person. So you'll that's your opportunity. You created the contest, but it's your opportunity to make the connection. So you have to know when it is the right time to say, look, I got a solution for you, and you should really listen.
Yeah. And a lot of my things that I've been doing it because I've been studying your stuff, right? You post things, we talk, and what I have been really tuning my ear to is when people are posting things about money that they're complaining about. They don't like this, or why is this happening? I'm like, okay, that's a money minute. And I'm going to be doing much more money minutes. I've kind of backed off on it. My calendar gets so full, but I enjoy doing those. I need to make sure that I'm doing them consistently. So a lot of what I'm answering may be questions that I've seen posted online about somebody else sharing something. And that has really kind of flipped the script in my mind, because I'm answering a question that wasn't asked to me directly. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, your profile over time will convert on its own, right? But at the same, the way you really convert, the way the engine really works, is first of all, you have it there, your engine, you're turning it on, it's running, right? But the fuel is expensive. You cannot just keep running forever. So sometimes you have to go and get some support, or trying to see what other engines are out there, right? So the way you do that, you look at other people's content that are discussing the very same topics that you're offering, and you see what conversations are going on in there, and who came to those events, who's commenting, who's engaging, and perhaps are people that you don't know. But guess what? They're interested in that very topic. They showed up there once. So now
Right.
you can invite them when you have yours, and you can leave a thoughtful comment, not taking still in the limelight of somebody else, but giving your point of view on the topic, right? Immediately, if your point of view is relevant, it will attract some eyeballs, even if it's just somebody liking it. And we all know that the comments are getting more exposures for now. It's a mystery why. LinkedIn wants engagement, right? They want more comments, and the comments are getting more visibilities, more impression. But it's not every comment. So I just want to give a word of caution there. Even if you look at somebody that is a big, huge influencer on LinkedIn, if you look at all the things that are commenting, not all of them are. I've been studying this. Not all of their comments are getting all these impressions. Not all of their comments are getting all these likes. Not all of their posts are going viral, because some of them it's the same. Even if they're not suffering for business, right? They're doing really, really well. That's not what's happening. It's the comment on the specific topic that is discussed continuously, and where there are a lot of people on those feeds. That's the one that gets the multiple impression. I was shocked the first time one of my comments went like, "Whoo!" I mean, it's not huge numbers, but it got over 3,500 impressions, right? And I'm
Wow.
thinking, was only once. Another time was 1,000 or something, but that's it. So I'm looking at this comment I made, which was pretty short, but it was on layoffs, talking about layoffs, right? And it probably was the most natural comment I ever made. One, because I saw people where I was working getting laid off, and it was a little rant comment on mine, right?
There you go.
So, but it was honest and it was true, and it just told it like it is, and it went like, psh. So I thought, okay, you really have to go in the heartbeat on the conversation, and try to participate there. When you see a post, not a post that says, "Is this the cat? Do you think people have blue eyes or green eyes?" Those are all just for fluff or engagement, and they do nothing. So if you have a post like that where you ask all obvious questions, right, and everybody replied, you see those. You see those posts I'm talking about, right? There is nothing meaningful there. The most meaningful comment that you find in those posts are, "Why are we posting this garbage?" And that's really the most meaningful comment there. But because it's getting a lot of people, it's bait, right? To say something, all of a sudden everybody sees this thing, and that's when people on LinkedIn, creators, business owners, get discouraged and say, "I cannot believe everybody's looking at this, and I have a solution, something of value that I'm offering here, and nobody's looking at mine," right? But what happened there, it was like easy click, almost like a gamification, right? Nothing to do with having to think any particular solution. So it's only natural that when you're giving, if you're producing something that is generating a thought and a moment of reflection, not everybody's gonna go and click like crazy and comment, because it takes time to reflect. So sometimes people read and they just keep it within.
And you've got a great comment here. Great info as always, Christina. You always bring a lot of value. I always learn something from you. There's always a little takeaway, a golden nugget. So in closing, how can people reach you if this resonates with them and they're ready to position themselves to win and turn their LinkedIn profile to a client conversion engine? How do they reach you? Where do they find you?
Okay, a couple of things. One, please tell us in the comment.
There you go.
Tell us how you found this conversation, if it was valuable, if it created an impact. Number two, if we're not connected, please connect with me. That's the first thing. And if you're ready to have a conversation, there is a calendar link in the featured session of my profile. If you're still in thinking mode, feel free to subscribe to my newsletter, or just send a DM, say hello, and just tell me I'm in thinking mode, and let me know if anything that we discussed here today actually had an impact on your journey, because I would love to know that.
Absolutely. I love that. Are you still in thinking mode? Are you in the moving mode? Are you ready to take action? Listen, what is it? Massive action wins the game. We've all done another. What do we do with that knowledge? We got to actually implement that. Just like I did make my newsletter. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate the gentle nudge, the kick in the pants, the push in the deep end. She said, you know what, Leah, you just got to do it.
Yeah. And the profile, it starts with your profile, right? It starts with really having a moment of reflection and say, what is that I want people to know that I do? And keep it as simple as possible first. You don't have to go crazy with all the names at first. Just use it as a drawing board where you are experimenting. So put that there. That's the title, right? Then you got that title, write your about that title. Look at all your skills, everything that you have, all in alignment with that. And then now that you have some notes, some bullet points, start with your posting, start with your newsletter, start with participating in those conversations. Keep them all in alignment.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to be all over the place. And it already takes time to build a business when you are in alignment. It's not going to take one day. It's going to take 3 to 6 months. So it takes time already. So if you, from day one, you start, today's cats, tomorrow's ice cream, now let's talk about business, you're just going to prolong that time.
There you go. Great words of wisdom. Thank you so much. We love having you. Thank you so much. And we're going to put a 1 in the chat or post this on replay. Let her know if you got some value from this. I know that you did. Please connect with her and subscribe to her newsletter. I'm telling you, you're going to find tons of golden nuggets, tons of gold bars in there. And then you can kind of kick the tires. You can think about it. And then you're going to want to connect with and work with Christina. I promise you, she's incredible. I've learned so much from her. I appreciate her value. She brings tons of value every time that we're on together. And even in the back streets, right? We talk to each other. And so now's the time when I want to just have story time here. I want to share a little bit about what I do. And, right now is tax season. If you're planning your 2025 tax season right now, you're playing money checkers. Okay. Money chess, we are going to look and do advanced tax planning. So whatever happened last year, there's very little that you can do about it. There's a couple of little last minute things you might be able to shore up, but the majority of planning is really going to happen today for 2026. 2026 started 3 months ago, if you haven't noticed. And the real tax planning probably started 6 months ago. Where are you going? If you're not working with a tax professional who's asking you questions, bringing you ideas, this is what we did last year. We got to be prepared for that this year. Then you're playing money checkers and you're never going to win the game. In order to really build a family dynasty, we got to understand the rules of the game, and we got to think 5 to 10 moves down the road. When your business explodes, what's going to happen? When you get that big client, when you get that big case, how are you going to move and flow with your money? There's 3 areas that most people are making mistakes on when it comes to their money. Number 1, they're overpaying with their debt. Number 2, they're losing money in the stock market, in their retirement plans, and in their investments. And number 3 is they're overpaying Uncle Sam. We don't mind paying our fair share. Okay, we're good law-abiding citizens. We don't mind paying our fair share, but we just don't want to overpay our fair share. So with that, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Please share this with somebody that you know could benefit from this, and connect with Christina. I know you're going to enjoy that connection. And I promise you, subscribe to her newsletter and subscribe to my newsletter too. You can also follow me on YouTube, which is I am the Dynasty Builder 93940. Thank you so much, everybody. Remember, your wealth today should be and could be your dynasty tomorrow.
Hey there, I'm Leah Garcia. Have you ever wanted a career where you truly make a difference in people's lives? I'm building a team of driven financial and insurance professionals, people who want to help families and businesses protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth with confidence. If you're passionate about guiding others to achieve financial security, then you're exactly who I'm looking for. Join my supportive, growth-oriented environment and unlock your full potential. Ready to take the next step? Visit leahgarcia.io and let's start building your future together.